Let's go ahead and listen to this drum part right here. These warp markers enable me to grab onto the audio and stretch it any way that I'd like. So I want this to swing a little bit. Let's leave them here and see what happens. Immediately, that's a totally different sound. Welcome back. I'm excited to announce 3 new updates that we're bringing to Studio 1.2. They are time signature support, removing effects from audio clips, and audio time stretching, so you can warp the audio exactly where you want it. Let's dive into time signature support. This is something that most digital audio workstations support, so I expect it'll be familiar to at least some of you. It's located here at the bottom of the screen. It's this 4/4. The top 4 refers to the number of beats in each measure, and the bottom 4 tells us which note gets the beat. So if you're doing something that's different than dance music, it's not in that 4/4 style, you can pick to any of these alternates so far. So now on to remove effects. I'm gonna play this project that's on the timeline right now. So I love the way this sounds. That vocal is huge and airy and spacious, but I want to take this out of Suno and into another piece of software so I can dial in that effects chain on my own. In order to do so, I'm going to need to take off the existing reverb and delay because I want to be working from a blank slate. So what I can do now is I can right-click on the top of this clip header and I can select Remove Effects. Now I'll also use this opportunity to explain some new take lane behavior that we've just added. So much of the creative process is about making choices. You do something and then you listen. You want to make a choice about which one fits your taste, which one fits your vision. So in order to enable you to make more choices easily, anytime you create a new clip onto the timeline now, we open up those alternate lanes. That way you can easily preview the other options and make the choice that suits your project best. So it looks like we just got our vocals back. Let's preview them. With this new alternates behavior, it's as simple as just clicking on the alternate you want to hear. Yeah, so immediately already this is way more dry. That's the old one. And that's the new one. Let's skip forward to the part where the vocal really comes in.
Sitting under a tree, rain begins to fall.
So there's still some background vocals sneaking in there around the edges. It isn't perfect yet, but this is way closer to what I want. Now I can take this into another project. I can put my own reverbs on here. I can do whatever processing I want. Let's hear this in the context of the mix.
Sitting under a tree, rain begins to fall. Cold against my skin, inside my mind.
Sweet. I'm going to go back to the reverb version for now as I move on, but I can right-click on any of these to download them as a WAV file and bring them into any other software I'd like. So now let's move on to the thing I'm personally most excited about, which is audio warping. This just enables so much more control and enables you to really get creative on the timeline here. Let's go ahead and listen to this drum part right here. So that's a pretty groovy loop, but there's so much we can do with it. If I double click on the clip header, you'll see this new panel pop up on the bottom, showing us a waveform and showing us warp markers. These warp markers enable me to grab onto the audio and stretch it any way that I'd like. So let's try to see if we can make this more interesting. I'm going to go ahead and reset the markers to start and end, giving me a fresh slate here. There are 2 other modes here. I can either place markers automatically on every transient or only on transients that are close to beat grid lines. So what I'm going to do now is place warp markers on every beat and off beat because I have an idea here. So these are beats, these are off beats. And to add these warp markers, I'm just clicking on these suggested points, but I can also click anywhere in space to add a warp marker. So let's listen to this again. And I'm going to loop this just so we can hear this go around. So I want this to swing a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and select every offbeat warp marker. And I'm holding Command down, by the way, when I click to multi-select here. So now I have all of these offbeats selected. And now I can drag these off the grid and drop them somewhere else to get a different feel. So let's leave them here and see what happens. Immediately, that's a totally different sound. Cool, let me duplicate this out a little bit and we'll see how this sounds in context. So that wraps us up for Studio 1.2. And keep in mind that all of these things can be used on any type of clip. Warping can be useful for fixing the timing of a guitar part that you've tracked in, or it can be used for really creatively messing with some audio that you created with Suno. Similarly, removing effects, even though I showed it on vocals, can be used on drums or synths or anything else, even though I find that it tends to work best on vocals. Please let us know in the comments what we should build next. I'm always looking over there and we take your suggestions really seriously. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.